Fortunately, we have definitely seen our share of horror stories over the years. One thing that might be potentially surprising if other people are kind of in the similar space is that a pretty significant amount of our deal flow actually comes from being brought in as third-party auditors to either boards or senior executives that are saying, we're not sure about the state of this project. We don't actually know how to go check. We pay you guys to come in, sometimes anonymously, sometimes visibly and publicly, and just check what's going on, because it's been longer than it should be, or we're way over budget and we can't get a clear timeline. And honestly, oftentimes it's been a bit of a failing on the part of the company or the founder, not having that network of technical advisors or kind of trusted resources to be able to dig in. And like, we've been brought in by boards in the past to check projects that are in the seven figures, that are years or month, like significant amount of time in. And I think typically it's been overseas teams where we're being brought in because communication is broken down for some reason or deadlines have been missed. And in the most extreme example, we got into a bunch of source code, and source code is probably generous. This team had been supposedly working on this for about 2 years. What we ended up finding was a bunch of screenshots that were kind of animated and mapped together and virtually no code. And unfortunately, any external technical resource brought in before probably would have caught it pretty quickly, but there had been, it was a very cheap shop. There's a lot of other things going on in the business, and so nobody was really paying attention. And as long as they kind of sort of presented pictures at each check-in quarterly, it was allowed to go on longer than it should have. And so, yeah, it's a tough space. And so do the work to make sure you're protected, like trust good partners. And I think that's amazing.